I like animated movies, obviously. Recently, I went to go watch Pixar's Hoppers in the movie theaters twice, and doing so kind of awakened something in me that I haven't felt for a very long time. The first time going to see Hoppers by myself gave me a nostalgic wave of childlike wonder that I haven't felt in a long time, and dragging my mom to go see it the second time I watched it, seeing her reaction to the movie without seeing any trailers or knowing what it was really about is an experience that you just cannot replace. Some of my favorite parts was her looking at the title and wondering if it's about grasshoppers, and then she ends up quoting Heimlich in Joe Ramp's funny voice the second that young Titus first appeared on screen. That is when I knew that without a doubt that she is definitely related to me. After that priceless theater experience, along with us watching Project Hail Mary, which was also really great, has me thinking, maybe I want going to the movies to be a monthly or a bi-monthly event from now on, due to all these positive feelings and sense of wonder that it gives me. So I've decided to make this video showcasing upcoming animated movies that I am looking forward to, all in order from how close they are to releasing. So let us start the list, shall we? The first on this list of animated movies I'm looking forward to is Walpurgis Not Rising, which will be released on August 28, 2026. Now, when it comes to anime, I wouldn't call myself a fan. As you could guess, it's due to all the weirdness and the over-sexualization of the female characters in a majority of them. I mostly like to watch movies like Ghibli or movies like A Silent Voice and Wolf Children, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, I don't really watch anime TV shows, with the one exception being Madoka Magica. I vividly remember my friend showing it to me for the first time, saying it's a cool magical girl anime, and since I grew up with shows like Tokyo Mew Mew and Shugo Kara, I thought, well, why not? So I watched it with her, with my first impressions being, what a weirdly abstract show, but still quite cute. Then episode 3 happens, and the show becomes a psychological horror that gets worse the more the show goes on. That's right, my best friend I've known since first grade betrayed me. And to be honest, it's one of the best decisions she ever did. I don't ever regret getting into this dark series, especially when I see the series as an accurate depiction of womanhood. She then later showed me the Rebellion movie, which confused me at first viewing, but thinking about it later ended up making a ton of sense and ends up adding a lot more to the show. And that's where Walpurgis Not Rising comes in, as it is a sequel to Rebellion. I am so damn hyped for this movie, especially when the trailers of it look so fantastic and so full of mystery and guaranteed dread, especially with the beautiful updated animation it has. The fact that it will release in summer, a little after my birthday this year, has me so excited. But then I end up feeling kind of depressed when I realize that it will release this summer only in Japan. And it probably won't release in the USA for a longer while. And hell, I don't even know if it will even get released with the English dub in the USA theaters at all. Oh, not to mention, they could end up delaying the movie a couple more times if they really wanted to. Well, whatever happens, happens. We'll just have to wait and see. The next movie on this list is Dreamworks' Forgotten Island, which will be released on September 25th, 2026. It's kind of funny because I had no idea that this movie was being made until the trailer released. I saw the trailer being shared by someone on a community post on a random Tuesday and decided to check it out, cause why not? And to my shock,
hey, that's pretty good.
It looks like this movie will be very emotionally charged and will tackle subjects like having nostalgic memories and constantly wishing to go back to those moments despite all the memories slipping away as time goes on, which is something I relate to a lot. As someone who has nostalgia constantly taking over my mind, I feel like this movie will speak to me on such a deep and emotional level. And apparently, the Forgotten Island itself will actually be based off of Filipino mythology, which is something I'm looking forward to seeing. I like learning about mythology from other cultures, and since Filipino culture hasn't really been showcased in mainstream media, it's pretty neat that this movie will give an underrepresented culture much needed spotlight, unlike some other studios. In terms of voice cast, they seem to have a pretty decently good group of voice actors, most of which are Filipino themselves, which is cool. The tomboyish Joe will be provided by an American-Filipino R&B singer, Her, and even though I have not heard of her before, it does seem like she does have herself a fan base, which is cool for her. The anxious Ariza will be voiced by Liza Soberano, I think that's how you say it, who seems to be more of a newer actress in the world of film, which is also cool for her. One of the characters will be a dreaded manananggal, which is supposedly a mythological creature in the Philippines who are vampire-like creatures who can detach their upper torso from their lower torso. Judging by this description, I'm assuming she will be the main villain. Sounds sick. She'll be voiced by Leah Salongo, who not only is a well-known Filipino singer, but she specifically provided the singing voices of the Princess Jasmine and the Fa Mulan. It's going to be awesome to see her voice a possible villain. There's also going to be the side character named Ra, who is stated to be a well-meaning but unlucky were-dog, who seems like he will be this silly, lovable sidekick who will try to help Joe and Riza try to get back home. Sounds like a cute character. Now, the voice of this guy will be Dave Franco. Oh my god. The fact that Dave Franco is gonna play a possibly cute, silly sidekick character right after he played one of the most insane villains in Pixar's history is definitely gonna give me some whiplash. But hey, I bet the memes comparing the two characters will be great. So, hearing all that I have heard about Forgotten Island is getting me pretty hyped for it, and everyone else seems to be hyped for it as well, as they should be. However, this is where I feel like I got to rant about some pretentious, toxic dweebs when it comes to this movie, and a huge reason why I don't consider myself to be a part of the animation community in general. It's the fact that people keep bringing Disney into this, saying stuff like, "Whoa, Dreamworks is embarrassing Disney right now. Ooh, Disney over here making live-action remakes while Dreamworks is making art." I'm sorry, but can we just stop doing this, please? Everyone always says stuff like this whenever there's a new animated movie coming out that isn't from Disney. And I'm getting sick of it. And it's not like I'm some super Disney fangirl or something. Like, yeah, I've been disliking their business practices and live-action remakes, but God, it really sounds like these people are only liking these new movies just because they aren't Disney, and not because the new movies itself look really good. I mean, there is a time and a place to criticize Disney, but this ain't it. I also find it funny how hypocritical everyone is when it comes to Disney versus Dreamworks. Like how Disney is killing art with live-action remakes, when Dreamworks is making live-action remakes of the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, or how Toy Story doesn't need a fifth movie. I mean, Shrek really doesn't either, and in my opinion, looks like it'll be much worse than Toy Story 5. Or how people are already hating on Disney's new movie, Hexed, despite the fact that it looks completely fine, when DreamWorks' next original movie will be the Coco Melon movie. But yeah, Dreamworks is totally cooking Disney for sure. So how about we just stop this dumb anti-Disney, pro-every-other animation studio war and just enjoy watching the things we look forward to? This isn't the 2000s anymore, and you aren't cool for being pretentious. Grow up. So now that my side rant is over, yeah, Forgotten Island looks like it'll be great. Can't wait to see it in theaters. Next up is Laika's Wildwood, which will release on October 23rd, 2026. Well, looks like Halloween is coming early, and we're getting treated with another beautiful stop-motion animated movie by Laika, who created wonderful films like Coraline, Paranorman, and Kubo and the Two Strings. I haven't seen Missing Link or The Box Trolls yet, but I might try to before Wildwood comes out. Wildwood, like Coraline, is actually an adaptation of a book, where the main character, Prue, adventures into a magical forest to rescue her baby brother from being kidnapped by a group of crows who are bringing him to a mysterious woman. I haven't read the book, and I probably won't before seeing the movie, because I'd rather go in to see the story completely blind. The story itself sounds very interesting and full of adventure, but as someone who regularly feeds crows, I don't know how I feel about the crows in this movie being evil.
We have no kinship with crows any longer.
Nasty lot.
Now, right off the bat, the animation snippets that is shown on Laika's YouTube channel shows that they still got what it takes to make beautiful, breathtaking stop-motion animation. In terms of the voice cast, I don't recognize many of these people except for Luigi, female Asian Chris Pratt, Tamatoa, and Underground Man. But judging by the snippets Laika showcased of the main characters, I think they will do a great job. Especially Angela Bassett as the general. She sounds exactly how a fierce eagle general should sound. It looks like we have another great film for this year. A couple of people seem to agree as well. But unfortunately, there's still some more pretentious people saying more pretentious stuff yet again. Oh, this movie is scaring Hollywood. This movie spits in the face of AI. As if Laika hasn't been doing this kind of stuff for more than a decade now. Yeah, I don't know why I bother with the brain-rotted animation community anymore. The next movie I will be talking about is Pixar's Gatto, which will release on March 5th, 2027, approximately an entire year after Hoppers. Gatto is an interesting film on this list because we actually don't have a ton of info on the film, aside from the basic plot and a single concept drawing, but in my opinion, the plot is more than enough to get me excited to what Pixar will offer on its new original. The plot reads that Nero, a music-loving black stray cat living in Venice, is indebted to a feline mob boss and is forced to forge an unexpected friendship with a street artist that may finally lead him to his purpose. This plot alone is already making me hyped for this movie, because for one, I love cats, like, a lot. And secondly, a Pixar movie with a mob boss for a villain just has the potential to be incredibly menacing and dark. Like, if this mob boss is as intimidating as Hopper, hell, even as intimidating as Titus, I think that will be bloody insane. But the hype doesn't stop there, because as it turns out, the animation of this film will be animated in a watercolor-esque art style that will combine traditional animation techniques with the usual 3D animation, which is something I am super excited to see. It's clear that this is Pixar's response to recently popular movies having more unique animation styles, which is always cool to see. I just personally hope they don't go for the cheap-looking 12 frames per second frame rate for the animation. It would come off as being too pretentious to me. But regardless, I'm still quite excited to see this new animation style. But what if I told you there's even more to talk about in this film? Some speculation that has the potential to turn the movie from a possibly great film into a possibly fantastic film. So, for context, a while ago, Pixar had a casting call for Romani characters, one of which is a 17-year-old violinist who spends her days as a street musician and her nights working at a dishwashing job at a restaurant. Her grandfather will also be a character who is said to be bedridden, but still full of spirit and love for his granddaughter. And according to these casting calls, it would showcase some prejudice that people have for these Romani people and how it affects the teenage girl. With the human main character of Gatto being said to be a street musician, I think these casting calls fit perfectly into the plot. Not to mention, with the plot stating that Nero has bad superstitions placed on him due to him being a black cat, it would make sense for Nero and the street musician to form a friendship due to sharing their experiences with prejudices placed against them. So if the speculation that I showcased ends up being true, then in my opinion, this has the potential to be Pixar's most fantastic and dark movie in recent years. I just hope they don't downplay the themes of the mafia and racism into this film. I do know that Hoppers was claimed by a disgruntled ex-employee that they downplayed the environmental themes in the movie before it was released, which ended up being wronger than wrong. No, making your characters more than one-dimensional tropes and adding more complex themes into your movie doesn't mean it downplays the environmentalist message. But despite that, I still have a bit of fear that they could downplay the horrors of the mafia and racism if they really wanted to, or if Disney orders them to. But I'm going to remain hopeful that it will showcase these subjects with maturity and sensibility. And for those of you who are asking who Romani people are, think of Esmeralda from Hunchback of Notre Dame. I think you get the picture. One last thing I will mention is that Enrico Casarosa, who created the short film La Luna and directed Luca, will be the director for Gatto. I loved La Luna for its storybook type of vibe, but when it comes to Luca, I admit I didn't love it as much as everyone else did, but for what it was, I still think it's pretty solidly written. It's a movie that seems to be animated more towards kids, which isn't for me, but that's perfectly okay. Since Gatto looks like it'll be more dark in tone, I do believe that Enrico has what it takes to make a darker and more compelling film. All we need to do is to wait for a proper trailer and more news in the coming year. The final movie I will talk about on this list is Cartoon Saloon's Kindred Spirits, which will release sometime in 2028. Kindred Spirits is a movie that will be about an Irish refugee child named Mara, who ends up losing her older brother Dan, and meets up with Chushka, a Native American Choctaw Nation son who is far from his home, and they both travel across America to find a place to call home. All the while, Mara's older brother Dan cannot accept his death and wanders through the spirit realm, watching over Mara and Chushka on their journey. This movie will be inspired by the 1847 events of the Native American Choctaw Nation, who ended up helping support Irish people after leaving their country due to a horrible famine, after the Choctaws themselves just went through the traumatic Trail of Tears, which is a part of history I never even knew about. Judging by the inspiration and the concept trailer for the movie, I can tell it's going to make me feel extremely bittersweet and sad, probably for days, and open my eyes in ways I haven't before, like how the breadwinner opened my eyes to the horrors of a certain time and a certain place. This movie will be directed, I think, by Tom Moore, who directed movies such as Secret of Kells and Song of the Sea. This man really knows his stuff, and I know he's going to give us such a fantastic but emotionally devastating film, which will be showcased in the beautiful and iconic hand-drawn animation style that Cartoon Saloon is known for. Since I'm highly certain that this movie is going to delve into serious historical topics, this might be a film that I will have to mentally prepare myself to watch. But I think this movie is one that I have to watch. It's going to be one hell of an experience of a film, for sure. That, my friends, is the end of my list of my most anticipated upcoming animated movies. However, I do have a few honorable mentions that I feel I need to talk about. Aang, The Last Avatar. I actually haven't watched the original show yet, but I did end up finding the entire show at Goodwill. Lucky me. With a new movie coming out and my 2 coworkers wanting me to watch it, I just might binge watch the whole thing before the movie officially comes out. That is, if Paramount decides to release it in theaters. I really do hope they decide to, especially after the abysmal leak of the entire movie that happened recently. On top of the movie being scheduled to only release on streaming on October 9th, it really seems like the only way to save this movie is for them to release it in theaters. There's a petition in the description if you're interested in helping getting this movie in theaters. Disney's Hexed, scheduled for release on November 25th, 2026, is a movie that I mentioned during the Forgotten Island section of the list, which I do think that people are being too harsh on way too early, despite the fact that I myself am not really too particularly excited about it. But if a trailer or two comes out that ends up making the film look interesting, then cool. Pixar has quite a few movies releasing in the future. Toy Story 5 releases in June of this year, and it has the potential to be extremely good or extremely bad, and there's no in between. Regardless of its quality, I think I just might skip it, since it's already going to make much more money than Hoppers, for sure. My mom does want to see it though, so I guess it depends on how my mom is feeling in June. The fact that this might be Andrew Stanton's final directorial film just depresses me so much. In terms of other sequels, they're going to release Incredibles 3 in 2028, which I think has the potential to be great and sort of fix the mess that was the second movie, if Peter Song and Brad Bird pick their cards correctly. There's also word that a Monsters Inc. sequel is in very early development, which, okay, not going to lie, I do think that this franchise needs at least one more entry, especially if it's a direct sequel. But in all honesty, I think a majority of my enjoyment of the sequel is dependent on whether or not Roger will appear in it. If there's anyone at Pixar watching this, please, pretty please, at the very least, give Roger a brief cameo in this film, or I will hate all of you. Also, they have an original coming up called Oh No Ghost Market, releasing on March 10th, 2028, approximately 2 years after Hoppers. All we know about the film is that it will be inspired by Asian myths about supernatural bazaars where the living and the dead interact. I don't have a full opinion on it right now, but it sounds quite interesting. I'm also quite curious on what Asian myths they will be showcasing in this film. Japanese? Chinese? Korean? Thailand? Malaysia? Looks like we'll have to wait and see. Well, that's all I have to say in terms of movies. I hope I've gotten some of you interested and excited for some of these upcoming films. If there ends up being more movies announced, I might make a follow-up video explaining those as well. And if there's any animated movies that you are hyped for that I haven't heard of yet, please comment below and let me know. Until next time.